Seabiscuit the Wonder Horse. In the 1930s, times were tough. There were long lines to get food. People didn't have much and needed an escape. Going to the racetrack was the perfect escape. People came from far and wide to watch their favorite horses race. The horses were sleek, elegant, muscular, well-bred, and fast. Real fast. Except for one. His name was Seabiscuit. He loved to eat and sleep, but hated to run. He had lost almost every race he had ever been in. His first trainer called him a big dog. Who would want a racehorse like that? Charles Howard, that's who. He bought Seabiscuit for a bargain price. He thought the funny-looking animal had potential. And so did these people. Charles Howard was Seabiscuit's owner. Howard became a millionaire by selling cars. He began his business when owning a car was quite unpopular, but he liked to take chances. It's no wonder he saw the potential in Seabiscuit. John Red Pollard was Seabiscuit's jockey, and then Silent Tom Smith, Seabiscuit's trainer. Smith was a man of few words. He was much more interested in horses than people and understood the animals well. Pollard was nicknamed Red because of his red hair. Finding work as a jockey was hard, so for extra money, he boxed. In his free time, he loved to read and recite poetry. He identified with troubled animals. Seabiscuit was wild, but Silent Tom knew what was wrong. The small horse was lonely, and came some friends to calm him down. Seabiscuit was lazy. Silent Tom knew the problem there too. The horse needed motivation, so in came the competition. Seabiscuit was angry and stubborn. Red Pollard knew how to fix that. He didn't punish the horse like so many others had done in the past. He showed Biscuit that he was his friend, not his enemy. The once angry and wild horse became gentle. The once lazy horse became competitive and fast. But would anyone notice? After Seabiscuit won his first big race, people sure did. Wow, a horse that looked just like them. Beat up, imperfect, an underdog. A horse with courage. Word traveled fast. People had Seabiscuit-itis, described one sports writer. Even though Seabiscuit was becoming famous, there was another horse who was more so. His name was War Admiral. War Admiral was sleek, elegant, muscular, and fast. Real fast. Charles Howard wanted his horse to be the most famous, fastest horse in history, so he challenged War Admiral to a race. War Admiral's owner, Samuel Riddle, scoffed at the challenge. Mr. Riddle thought the goofy-looking challenger didn't compare to his grand horse. Could Seabiscuit beat War Admiral? People wondered. Seabiscuit traveled all the way across the country to face the mighty War Admiral. Sadly, an accident happened the day before the big race. Red Pollard was riding another horse. The horse got spooked and Red went flying. Red's leg was badly injured and he was rushed to the hospital. He was told he'd never race again. Red was heartbroken. Everyone was disappointed. Was the race off? No! From his hospital bed, Red asked his good friend George the Iceman Wolf to race in his place. The race was on. Many people came to watch the race. By train, by car, by boat, by the thousands. They were squished, crammed in like sardines. But that didn't matter. Jobs closed early so that no one would miss the race. 40 million Americans tuned in. Even President Roosevelt did. Everyone nervously watched the empty racetrack. In came War Admiral. In came Seabiscuit. A hush fell over the crowd. The horses twitched. The riders sat perfectly still. "And they're off," shouted the announcer. Seabiscuit took the early lead, but War Admiral was catching up fast. They're head and head. It's the best horse from here in, proclaimed the announcer. Wolf whispered into Seabiscuit's ear. Then he turned to War Admiral and his rider. So long, Charlie, he said. Like a freight train, Biscuit flew past War Admiral. War Admiral tried to catch up, but couldn't. Seabiscuit was too fast. Seabiscuit leads by a length, said the announcer. Now Seabiscuit by a length and a half. Seabiscuit by 3. Seabiscuit is the winner by 4 lengths, shouted the announcer. And you never saw such a wild crowd. Wolf rode Biscuit into the winner's circle to a roar of cheers and a burst of flashbulbs. I wish my old pal Red was on him instead of me, Wolf said. Seabiscuit was America's hero. A little horse with the heart of a lion, proclaimed one newspaper. People were able to forget their troubles, even if just for a minute.